You know that feeling when you're standing in front of a painting and it's like it's trying to tell you something? Like there's this secret language hidden away in all the colors and shapes. Well, today we're going to put on our detective hats. We're going to learn how to actually read a painting, not just, look at it. That's the big question, right? How does this silent, totally still image on a canvas manage to communicate so much feeling, so much energy? Well, it turns out artists have this whole set of tools, kind of like a visual alphabet. And our mission, together, is to learn the basics of that language. And this is our subject, our beautiful mystery for today. It's called Green Wheatfields, Auvers, and it was painted by the one and only Vincent van Gogh. Now, at first glance, yeah, it's a super lovely landscape. But, as any good detective knows, the real story is always hidden in the details. So let's start our investigation. Okay, so here it is, the central mystery we need to solve. How did Van Gogh make a simple field feel so alive? Because this isn't just a picture of a field, it feels like it's breathing, like it's actually swaying in the wind. How on earth did he do that? Well, to figure it out, we're going to need a special set of detective tools. And here they are, our tools. We call them the elements of art. Basically, they're the fundamental building blocks that pretty much every artist uses to create, well, anything. But for our purposes today, just think of them as clues. Clues that Van Gogh left for us hidden in plain sight that are going to help us crack this case wide open. All right, let's grab our first clue, line. Lines are literally everywhere in a painting, but they do so much more than just outline shapes. They're what direct our eyes, what create a sense of rhythm, and what give the whole piece its energy. So come on, let's play a little game of I Spy and see what kinds of lines Van Gogh has hidden for us in here. Okay, whoa, I spy curves just about everywhere. Seriously, almost nothing in this scene is a perfectly straight line. Look, there's that long, sweeping curve that separates the sky and the field. See how it just pulls your eye across the landscape? And then you've got these diagonal curves that create the rolling hills in the road. Up in the sky, you've got these soft contour curves that make the clouds look all puffy. And the field itself, just look at it. It's made of countless short, super energetic curved brushstrokes. And that is so key. It's what makes the wheat feel like it's actually alive, like it's dancing in the wind. All right, moving on to our second clue. Texture. Now, this one is all about how a painting feels, or, how it looks like it would feel if you could actually reach out and touch it. And with an artist like Van Gogh, this is a really, really powerful clue. So texture is actually a fascinating two-part clue. First, you've got what's called implied texture. That's what we see. It's how our eyes trick our brains into thinking we know what something feels like. Like Van Gogh's brush strokes totally create the look of rough, soft grass. But then, and this is the cool part with him, there's also actual texture. He piled on the oil paint so thickly, there's a fancy word for it, impasto, that the canvas itself has real physical bumps on it. So we're not just seeing the field, he's making us almost feel the incredible energy of his brushwork. It's like he's engaging our sense of touch right along with our sight. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most powerful clue of all, color. You see, artists use color for way more than just showing what something looks like. They use it to make us feel a certain way. And when it came to using color to set a mood, well, Van Gogh was an absolute master. So just take a look at this color palette. You can see Van Gogh made a very specific, a very deliberate choice here. He's working almost entirely within this family of cool, natural colors. You've got your primary colors, right? Yellow and blue. And of course, he mixes those to get that vibrant green. But he doesn't just stop there. He explores all those amazing subtle shades in between, like yellow-green and blue-green. This is not random at all. This limited palette is totally designed to create a very specific mood. So this technique actually has a name. It's called an analogous color scheme. And all that really means is that he's using colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. They're neighbors. And by sticking to this harmonious little group, the blues, the greens, the yellows, Van Gogh creates this really powerful sense of unity and calm. The colors aren't fighting each other for attention, they're working together. And that's what makes the entire landscape feel so peaceful, so whole. Okay, detectives, we've gathered all our clues. We've got line, we've got texture, and we've got color. Now it's time to put them all together and finally solve the mystery. How did Van Gogh bring this simple field to life? So, first up, line. We found that all those constant curving lines are what guide our eyes through the painting. They create that sense of flowing, natural movement. Nothing is just sitting there, right? Everything feels like it's in motion. Then there was texture. We saw how both the implied texture and that amazing actual texture give the painting this tangible quality. We don't just see the wheat field, we can almost feel the wind rustling through that bumpy, thick grass. And finally, color. We figured out that the cool, analogous color scheme just bathes the entire scene in this really calm, unified emotion. It's the glue that ties everything together into one single harmonious moment. So, case closed. The mystery is solved. It wasn't just one thing, was it? It was the combination of all our clues. The flowing lines, they create movement, the rich texture that gives it a tangible physical presence, and the harmonious color that infuses the whole scene with emotion. So line plus texture plus color, that is the formula. That's the secret sauce Van Gogh used to turn a simple painting of a field into a truly living, breathing landscape. So now you have the tools. You know the clues to look for. The next time you find yourself in a museum, or heck, even just scrolling past a picture online, try being an art detective for a minute. Ask yourself, okay, what is the line doing? What about the texture? What is the color telling me? I promise, you will be absolutely amazed at the stories you can uncover.